What do I mean when I say childhood life lessons? A lot of the things that we heard and a lot of the things that we use to say nursery rhymes or just sayings or any of those things, man. Something as simple as when you see girls do all together and they say, you better get out the way before I kick you out the way. Now, that just sounds like if you don't move, I'll put my foot on you. But when you think about life, the obstacles in your way, that's the perfect mindset to have about your obstacles. When you face an obstacle in life, you better get out of my way before I kick you out my way. Because we all know rather, that you have to go through the obstacles. You have to, some kind of way, you have to figure out how to get over the obstacles. And so your mindset throughout life, what an incredible mindset to have. You better get out of my way before I kick you out of my way. I'm coming through. This is my path of life. Move. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. So if you're an obstacle in my way, that's a weapon. Move, get out of the way before I kick you out of the way. And that's just one example. That's just one example. Royalty, salute. So let's go ahead, man. Now, some of these things are going to sound silly, and they are silly because even as adults now, you might hear a child say, I'm rubber, you're glue. Everything you say bounces off to me and sticks to you. And look at that. Look at that little kid, so cute. But it skips your mind. And then you go right out here in the world and let what somebody say bother you. You go right out here in the world and let what somebody say to you ruin your day. Let somebody's opinion of you ruin your day. You have a conversation with your wife, it ruin your day. You have a conversation with your mom, it ruin your day. You have a conversation with your boss or your employee, it ruin your day. You have a conversation with anybody, or you hear anybody talking about you, or you see somebody post something about you, and it ruins your day because you forgot that I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off to me, it sticks to you. You can't say anything to hurt me. As a content creator, man, there's always somebody who's going to say something negative about you. There's always some striving to grow content creator that's going to say something about you. I also say this to you. That goes along the same line as sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Man, listen, I ain't never seen nobody have a broken arm because of a word. I've never seen anybody have any harm come to them because of a word. Stick, stone, maybe, likely, possible, probable. Words, never. Nothing anyone says about you should bother you. Because here's the thing, the people who know you best are not going to say negative things about you. The people who know you best aren't going to say negative things about you because they actually know who you are. So how can you possibly allow yourself to care what someone who doesn't even know you is saying? But we live in a world where we forget. We grow so fast and we want to mature so fast and get away from our childhood so fast that we leave the lessons and everything behind. That's an amazing life lesson. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, if you had been practicing that since your childhood, you would have mastered it by now. Well, many of you haven't even thought about it since childhood. So now is the time to start mastering that. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like they just don't. Words will never hurt me. You can't allow them to. It doesn't make sense. Because here's the thing. Another thing that your grandma used to tell, your mom used to tell, your dad used to tell, your granddad used to tell you, everybody's not your friend. So if everybody's not your friend, then you need to be looking at everybody like they're not a friend until they earn their way into your friendship. That's how you end up surrounding yourself with people that don't care about you, people that don't want to see you win, people that would rather see you lose. You end up around people who you didn't give yourself time to properly vet because you think everybody is your friend. But here's the thing. If everybody's not your friend, and sticks and stones will break your bones and words will never hurt you, and I'm rubber, you're glue, then you have to ask yourself, why do you care anything about what people say? That's why BOA says alpha rule number one is forget what they say. Don't worry about what they say. That's rule number one. Forget what they say. And I don't say this to be pompous or cocky, but if someone is saying something positive about you, you already know it. Nobody get no props for telling me something about myself I already know. I'm supposed to give you props for finally recognizing how great I am, or how honest I am, or how honorable I am. How real I am? I'm supposed to give you props for that? No, give yourself props for finally figuring out. Oh man, well, BOA, you good at what you do, man. No, I ain't. I just work for God. I work for the most high, man. I ain't good at nothing. I'm good at following his instruction. That's all I'm good at. We all can follow instructions. So don't give me no props. But that's the world we live in. We live in a world where when people tell you something about yourself that you already know, that you're supposed to value their opinion of you more than your value opinion of yourself. How many of you thank yourself for recognizing how great you are? How many of you thank yourself for being who you are, for fighting through those obstacles, for navigating those circumstances that were intended and could have possibly held you back from becoming who you are? How many of you thank yourselves every day? But let somebody come up and give you a compliment about something you already know about yourself and you say thank you. That's why I don't get. I mean, I've never given random women compliments. I'm not going to see a beautiful woman and tell her how beautiful she is. She knows she's beautiful. A beautiful woman knows she's beautiful. She don't need me tell her. That actually, I mean, that lacks intelligence. You know what I'm saying? You lack intelligence when you do that. When you walk up to somebody and you say something to them and give them a compliment about something they obviously know, it doesn't really make sense. Now, something like Famo just said, salute, bro, appreciate it. Flim say, man, bro, them shades on point. Now I don't know if they on point to you. You know what I'm saying? Now these I like them, but I can't just walk out in the world and say I bet everybody in the world my life savings that these shades are fly to everybody. I can't really say that. So you see what I'm saying? That's something totally different. That's not a personal thing. So what we have to understand, man, is that you have to value yourself so much that you don't allow yourself to start embracing the things that keep you from being able to strive in life. And that's embracing negative energy. You don't embrace negative energy. Yes, you have to deal with negative energy. We have to, but you can't embrace it. You're going to be in environments where there's negative energy. But why walk into the environment and say, oh, the positive energy is on the left side of the room, but here's my negative energy, and you go grab all the negative energy from the right side of the room? Why? How does that benefit you? Along the lines of everybody ain't your friend. Okay, so what if they won't play with you? Go play by yourself. Or this was even better. Why are you worrying about trying to go play with them? You got all these cousins over here. These your friends. We're so busy trying to go over there that we forget we got our own clan right here. You trying to go be a part of that clan, you're gonna be a solo. You're gonna stand here by yourself instead of being with your clan because you intent on being with that clan over there when you already got your own clan that already love and respect you and support you. That's why I make content for the kingdom, strictly for the kingdom. That's why BOA make content for the Alpha Sphere, strictly for the Alpha Sphere. It don't matter who else. If you want to come join the Alpha Sphere. We ain't changing the Alpha Sphere. That's what we gonna be. You want to join? Come join the kingdom. We ain't changing the kingdom. The kingdom is what we gonna be. And it's just the reality of the situation, man. So what if they don't like you? If they don't like you, then you don't like them. Same lesson I had to tell my son, man, a few years ago, man. Not it was just one situation, man. My son pretty much like he got it one time and he was like, okay, cool. I'm me. I'm me. I know me. I know how wonderful I will be as an addition to anyone's life. Like, if you get access to me on a personal level, I know how great that experience will be for you. I know how life changing it'll be. So I'm not going to force that on you. If you're not smart enough to understand the value of being in my life or having access to me in ways that could benefit you, then that's on you. That's your life. You live your life how you want to. You're not going to bother me with it. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care. Because if you care, then you put yourself in this rah-rah state, but then you end up in a rah-rah state all the time. Rah, 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 rah. You end up in a rah-rah state and you can't catch any honey. You see what I'm saying? You got the honey and you got the money. You can't get the honey or the money when you're in a rah-rah state because you catch more bees with honey. You catch more bees with honey than you'll ever catch with vinegar. Go to all the beehives in the world, man, throw some and bring out some vinegar. See how many of them come around. This is the life that we have to understand we're living. And you got all of these things as a child. You already know if something's there. And even the Most High says in the book of Proverbs, man, listen, a soft word turneth away wrath. A soft answer turneth away wrath. You got to be calm and you got to be in your, man, there's nothing wrong with being a man of peace. There's nothing wrong with being a man of peace. There's nothing wrong with it because being a man of peace means that you're living in a state of peace of mind. It's hard to pull a man who's living in a state of peace of mind out of his state of peace. He'll flee the situation first. He'll first try to diffuse the situation, and then he'll just leave it because none of us wants to be pulled out of our peace because we remember how hard it was to find peace of mind. We remember how hard it was to find peace of mind. So we don't want to just throw it away. Hey, what you want to do something? You want to do something? Okay, come on in. Now your peace of mind gone. And here's the thing: when you take your peace of mind off and put it down on the curb, somebody else gonna see it. I promise you. Take your peace of mind off, put it down. Somebody gonna run by, scoop it up. They ain't gonna never even stop. They're gonna run by, scoop it up, and keep going. They're gonna keep moving. Why? Because they ain't got no peace of mind, but they see something sitting on the curb right there. You just discarded yours. Peace of mind is priceless, man. People do anything for it. So even with the concept of catching more bees with honey, let's say even when it comes down to dating and relationships, then you don't have to be this hardcore guy. You understand? Because at your core, you know who you are. You know what you're not going to deal with. You know what you're not going to accept, and you know how things are going to be. Like it's my way or no way, and no way is okay. But here's the thing: you don't have to go out beating your chest every time you meet a woman. Hey, woman, let me tell you something right now. That don't matter. That don't all of that's irrelevant. Like you don't have to lead with that. That just has to be in place. So when the time comes where a line is being crossed, where a line is attempted to being crossed, you're there. You're already there. You're like, no, hey, wait a minute. This line off limits. This line doesn't get crossed. And it's just that simple. Another thing, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's one of, that's you were taught not to be a hater when you were younger. That's the prototypical lesson of not being a hater. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So it's like with me, man, listen, man, I'm not good at roasting. I'm a grown man, dog. I'm a grown man. I'm a super grown man. I don't roast and tell jokes. I suck at that, man. I'm no good at that. I'm no good at that. I don't want to be good at that. I'm glad I'm not good at that. So I just stay away from it. Because part of the problem is if I don't know you personally, everything I say is just jokes. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm not a comedian. I leave that to Chris Rock, and we already see what happens when you're a comedian at the wrong time. So you have to understand that this environment around you, you and me, we're in a cocoon. We're in a cocoon. You have a spiritual cocoon around you, and you have to protect that cocoon. And you can't invite negative energy into it by allowing the energy to make you respond in its way. Negative energy, I respond to positively. You know what I'm saying? My response is going to be positive at first, anyway. My response is always going to be positive. And if I can diffuse a situation, I'll diffuse it, man. I don't have nothing to prove. I don't have nothing to prove. Because, the bottom line is when we're talking about not allowing the negative energy from your childhood to influence you as an adult, the only way to not do that is to take the positive energy from your childhood. But you got to remember the positive energy. If you were so blinded by the negativity that you couldn't focus on the positive, you got to think about some of these things. Father knows best. Father knows best. Father knows best. Father knows best. Now, I don't know how many of y'all heard that, but I did. Father knows best, which means he does. Why? Because he functions in a logical headspace. Father knows best. So he's always going to tell you a better thing. Now, of course, we're not talking about, what we're talking about. We're talking about if he's on point. If he's on point, then if he's not on point, then of course we ain't talking about him. It's just he might well not have been there. But what that's telling you is that as a man, you must build yourself and build yourself logically until you're in your space where you can know best. If you're feeling, you can't know best. If you're thinking, you can know best. I say again, if you're feeling, you can know best. If you're thinking, you can know best. And we're supposed to be the logical beings, right? And here's one of the realest things. Don't talk to strangers. If you don't talk to strangers, then that's one way you don't respond to people saying negative things about you. They're strangers. You're gonna respond to strangers? Okay. But you already been told not to. That's why I understand how you get put in a situation as an adult where you're around people that you don't even know. You're around people who have you in a compromising situation and you thought they was your friends. How do you think these people are your friends when they're actually strangers? How do you think these people are your friends when they're your foes? Because you forget some of these things. You forget some of these things. That's one thing about riding through the South, man. Riding through the South, man. I mess around, man. You go up a street. Let's say you make a turn on the street and you going up, turn around at dead end at the cul-de-sac because man. Everybody on the street speak to you on the way in, and then you turn around, come back out. They speak right back to you on the way out, and it ain't no problem. But I'm just saying, like that's that. There's a thin line between hospitality and being too friendly. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there is a such thing as too friendly. And this world has been here long before we were born. We do live in an environment where being too friendly can cost you some things that you need in order to survive and thrive. Here's one of the major ones. Treat others as you wish to be treated. Not treat them how they treat you, treat others as you wish to be treated. Now, the easy side of that is treat everybody good because you want to be treated good. It's not that simple. That also means if I'm a nuisance in your life, I want you to go on away from me. I think if I'm a nuisance to you, you should leave me alone and go that way. And so if you're a nuisance to me, I'm gonna leave you alone and go that way. Treat people the way you want to be treated has negative and positive connotations, and you have to embrace both. So I'm not telling you don't remember the negativity from your childhood. I'm telling you don't let it be the driving force in who you become as an adult. The energy. You can learn the lessons however you want to, but don't let the energy, don't let negative energy from childhood turn you into a negative energy releasing adult. Don't do that. So sometimes, man, people, they think, man, something wrong with him. He think he all that, or he blah blah blah. So man, I'll be somewhere sometime, man, and a woman to say something to me, man, I just keep it moving. I just don't pay her no attention. Because technically speaking, she's a stranger, and I don't talk to strangers. That's why I don't cold approach women. I don't cold approach women, man, because I don't talk to strangers. Believe it or not, that's the basis of me not cold approaching women. I don't talk to strangers. I be like, you got to think about it, man. If you build yourself into the best version of yourself, you're a blessing to people's life. What has that stranger done to deserve you in their life? You don't even know them. What have they done to deserve you in their life? Nothing. Nothing. So this whole self-love thing, man, people love you because you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, nobody's gonna come along and just love the love on you. They're not gonna come along and give you enough love to make up for their to give to compensate for them and you. You have to be based on the foundation of self-love, man. You have to. Another major one, man, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a book by its cover. Now, I will tell you something. You can know what to expect from the book. But not judging the book by its cover means you don't know what's going to be inside of the book. You don't know how well it's going to be written. You don't know how well it's going to be worded. You don't know none of that. You don't know if it's going to be, you don't even know what language it's going to be in, to be honest with you. But if you can read the title, you know what you're expecting to find in the book, right? So if you meet someone, they say, man, I'm good. You expect something good, right? If you meet somebody, man, they say, if somebody looks like they take care of themselves, then you expecting a certain thing from them. You know people. If you see people around, everyone, every profession, every lifestyle, every stereotype has a look. And that look is going to tell you what you should expect inside of that book. But you have to open the book. So let's say if someone's dressed a certain way and that indicates a certain stereotype. Okay, you know what you're expecting, but you still got to open the book. You know what you're expecting. Now you open the book and you see that it is what it is, you close the book. You already knew it. But you at least have to open the book. Don't judge the book by its cover. Look at the cover. Say, okay, I'll give it a shot. But I'm telling you, I don't think I'm gonna like this very much. Open the book. That's all you got to do. Let me tell you something. If you had a plant-based cookbook with all greens, all they have a green leaf is broccoli, spinach, kale, chard, tango. If it had all of that in it, and you had a cover on there, and then they had the key to becoming a billionaire on the inside of it, 90% of people who pass by it wouldn't pick it up. If it had the key to becoming a billionaire overnight in it, 90% wouldn't pick it up. I mean, 90% wouldn't pick it up. Me, if you put 10 books on that table, man, I'm gonna open all them books. Scan the pages a little bit, maybe look at the preface, forward, look at all of those things. I'm gonna scan it. If I don't like it, I'm gonna put it down. But ain't now one of the books on that table I'm gonna pass by because you don't know what's inside the book. You gotta understand we live in a society where many people try to fit in, many people try to go along to get along, many people try to be a part of groups that they're not a part of, and they think that they can fake it till they make it into those groups. The bottom line is this, man. Anybody can act anyway or present themselves in any light. But when it's time to show and prove, they have to do what's necessary. You can't say what's necessary, you got to do what's necessary. Another thing, man, a penny saved is a penny earned. Man, I learned that a long time ago, man. I had an aunt who taught me every dollar you get, save a quarter. Every dollar you get, save a quarter. And she was like, that's okay because you got 75 cents you can spend. Every dollar, save a quarter. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty profound. Every dollar, save a quarter. So every $4 I'm saving, a dollar. And I kept that same mindset. Every dollar, save a quarter. Because a penny saved is a penny earned. Because what that means is if you don't put it to the side, it's gone. If you can't count it, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? If you can't see it, it's gone, which means that you didn't earn it. If you whatever you spend, you didn't even earn. You got some money and exchanged it for something. Like you didn't earn it, it's gone. You pretty much could have told whoever you spent the money on, you could have just told them, hey, go over there to them and tell them I said pay you. And it could just skip your hands. Waste the money on material possessions. That's why I tell you all the time about the minimalist lifestyle. Hey, man, people can spend money on all type of fashion, all they want to, man. They can buy all the expensive stuff they want to, man. I mean, literally, you can buy all the jewelry. You can buy all the $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 shoes. You can buy your girl, man, a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 handbag. You can do all of that if you want to, man. That's your thing. If you want to do it, do it. But me, myself, man, I'm not finna promote nobody brand without getting a check for it. If you want me to be a brand ambassador, break me a check out. Break me a check out. So people want, man, why you always wearing Naruto shirts and all of that? Hey man, because you know what? I'm branded. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm not finna show up nowhere branded from head to toe without an endorsement deal, without some type of brand ambassador deal with these people. Man, I'm not finna do it. Ever. I'm not finna show up nowhere branded from head to toe, man. I wish I would. You know what I'm saying? I can't even see the logic in it. I don't even see the logic in it. Another thing, man, if such and such jumped off a bridge, would you jump too? The first lesson you got in not being a follower. You were taught as a kid, don't be a follower. But some of y'all still just follow forever. You know the worst thing to see? The worst thing to see is a grown man who's still following trends. A grown man, you ain't figured out that trends are just meant to break your pocket. You ain't figured out that following trends means you lack guidance. Following trends? Come on, man. I ain't following no trend. I ain't following no trends, man. And this is what teaches you, man, have your own style, have your own personality, man, do your own thing, have your own sound, have your own look, have your own everything, man. Do your own thing. Love yourself. The problem is you can't do the things that make you an individual because you hate those things. You would rather just fit in with the crowd. You have to learn to love yourself. I am not talking about love the version of you that society wants to see you. I'm talking about love the version of you that you are when you wake up every day, man. When you get out of the shower in your birthday suit, who are you? Love that person. Don't learn to love that person. Love him. That's all you got. All you got is the reality to who you are. All you can do is love that person. You got to love that person, man. You have to. So if such jump off the bridge, are you gonna jump? Nope, I ain't even going to watch them jump. I'm be at the crib chilling. And speaking of bridges, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's how you keep from living in fear. Fear is a bridge that's ahead on your path. Fear is the bridge that's ahead of you, keeping you from making this move right here because you worried about that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Because here's how these steps work. Fear keeps you from making this step, which will eliminate your fear when you accomplish it. I say again, fear of what might happen up there will be eliminated if you just focus on accomplishing this. This is the tool you need to combat that fear. And that's how you keep moving along. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's one of the livest things, man, I could ever pass on. Man, what if this happens? If this, what if this happens? Okay, it ain't what if nothing don't happen? What if the opposite happens? Don't worry about what's gonna happen after you do this. Do this. I tell you one thing that's gonna happen after you do this. It's gonna be another thing that you've accomplished. It's gonna be another step that you've taken in that on the way to your path, or on your path on the way to your goal. It's gonna be another step you've taken. A step forward never counts as a step backwards. You actually have to take that step backwards. And finally, this is what keeps you living the truest version of your life. This one thing will keep you living the truest version of your life. What you do in the dark will eventually come to light. So why do it in the dark where you can't even enjoy it? What you do in the dark will come to light, and you'll still have to deal with the consequences of it. So why do it in the darkness where you can't even enjoy it in its fullness and be happy about it? Whatever it is, be you, do you, live your way. And that is the key to using your childhood life lessons to become an amazing adult filled with self-love. Famo, salute to you. Y'all brothers, enjoy the rest of your day, man. I appreciate y'all support here, and I appreciate y'all support over on the BOA channel, the main channel. Got a couple of great things coming up for y'all, man. This process is kind of slow, but we're moving forward. We're all moving forward. The kingdom, we're moving forward. The Alpha School, we're moving forward. So I appreciate all you brothers at all times. Remember, keep your eyes on the prize, and you see the prize every day when you look in the mirror. Y'all put God first and keep grinding and growing, my brothers. Peace.